Thank you for inviting the Science Zone to join your class for a virtual science field trip on Super Sound. We had a great time learning with you, and we hope to see you again on another virtual field trip. Let's recap what we learned. Today, we saw that sound is a form of energy that travels through waves. Sound can travel through solids, it can travel through liquids, and it can also travel through gases like air. The reason you can hear a radio from really far away is because the air carries the sound waves all the way to your ear. Another thing we discussed was frequency. Frequency is the number of waves that can pass in a given amount of time. Lower frequency sounds have fewer wavelengths in a specific period of time. We saw this with our guitar strings. The really thick rubber bands had a much lower pitch. So pitch is another way to talk about frequency. But if we look at those super tiny rubber bands, we heard a pretty high ping. And that ping is because those rubber bands have a high frequency. There's lots of wavelengths that are traveling in the same amount of time. Now let's look back at our spoon on a string. When you hit the spoon on the counter without the string, you heard a little bit of a ding, but it wasn't too impressive. Now if we tie a string onto that spoon and then put the ends of the string into our ears and then tap the end of the spoon onto the counter, what we hear is a beautiful sound. Sounds a lot like a gong. What happened there is the vibrations in the spoon that happened from hitting it on the counter traveled through the strings and all the way up to your ears. It's really important that those strings are straight and tight, which is why you let the spoon dangle. What would happen if you used a fork? What would happen if you used a butter knife? What would happen if you used a really big spoon? These are all questions that you can investigate on your own. Now, I'm going to show you how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb using kitchen glasses that you already have. Let's go take a look.
For this, you'll need 4 identical glass containers. You'll need water, and then also something to measure so that it's consistent. So take your measuring cup, and in the first glass, add 1. In the next cup, you'll add twice as much water. In the third cup, you'll add 3 times as much water as you did the first cup. And in the fourth cup, you add 4 times as much water as you did in number 1. Now sometimes to get the pitch that you want, you'll need to play a little bit with the quantity that you add. Now let's get ready to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. I've adjusted the level of water in my glasses so that the pitch sounds right to match the notes. Sometimes this takes a little bit of effort, but if you work with those same proportions, meaning 1 part to cup 1, 2 parts to cup 2, 3 parts to cup 3, and 4 to part 4, you'll be very close to getting the pitches that you need for Mary Had a Little Lamb. Let's listen. If you look closely, you see that when we fill the glass with a little bit of water, or number 1, we hear a low pitch. But glass number 4 has a lot more water in it, and it has a high pitch. The higher the amount of matter, the lower the pitch. The lower the amount of water, the higher the pitch. The pattern for playing Mary Had a Little Lamb is provided in the parent handout that was sent to you from your teacher. We hope you have a great time playing your water xylophone. Thanks again for joining the Science Zone for a virtual field trip. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
If you enjoyed today's content and would like it to continue, please consider joining these generous supporters of the Science Zone and our virtual engagement platform by clicking the donate button here or on our website. Thank you.